Yes, I get thanks. Thanks for tuning in again. Welcome to Crystal Delphia. This is Chief Black Sun Featherheart. I yearn to keep my heart as light as a feather. See? Before you pick up stones to cast them at I, before you even look at that stone, I would like to ask you to detach your emotions from that which you think you know and truly hear me out and walk with me before you stone me. See? I'm not even telling you not to stone me. I'm saying before you cast your stones, listen to me first. A lot of times people begin to stone you before they even digest the words that you utter out of stone cold, saturated ignorance. See? But it's cool. So, I say this to you, Rastaman, who like to stone I. According to their Bible, in John chapter 10, when the Jews picked up stones to stone Yahushua, it wasn't the Romans that picked up stones to stone him, it was the Jews. Meaning that this was his own brethren. See? So, in order to truly walk in Christ awareness, or what they call Christ consciousness, or cosmic consciousness, which is truly the same thing, you have to pick up your cross and be persecuted by your brethren. I'm not even talking about the oppressor and, people on the outside. See? Because even if you look at the story of Yahushua in their Bible, he was traded in by his own people. He walked around with 12 brethren who were supposed to be his boys, his squad, you know what I mean? Said that they was his homie and they would ride with him. Sound like Jadakiss. Scream, ride or die. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Yes, Jadakiss is one of my favorite rappers. But anyway, I don't want to get off topic. But they claimed to be his boys and all of that, and they was going to ride with him and all that, but when the feds come, everybody scramble. See? Anyway, so when you reach certain levels of cosmic awareness, you will have to pick up your cross. Symbolically, you don't have to literally pick up a wooden cross. See? And it will be your own brown, tan, golden, yellow brothers and sisters stoning you. They are the ones that will trade you into the Romans. Because even in the Romans was even trying to figure out what he did wrong. They was like, well, what did the man do wrong? But you had enough of the people, saying that this is what needs to be done, then they assassinated him. But when you really peep it, we the people are the government. The government is not the government. We the people are the government, and we the people have always been the government. See? But I'm not going to give you a civics lesson today. Loud versus Reggie. See? That's what we're going to build on, but I'm going to tie this into some other science because I like to reason on things that are applicable and things that are what's the word I'm looking for? Things that you can actually utilize and not just sit around and philosophize about and say, wow, that's deep. Now, I hope you guys go back and check out the reasoning sessions Rastafari setting the record straight. A Gnostic is one who goes against the grain of what you would say average thought or the collective thought. Someone who goes against the grain of what the masses say is so. So the masses say this is so and that is so, and everyone says it's so. A Gnostic says, hold up, I have the right to question and ask questions and seek for truth and go against the grain of what the masses say. Seen? I'm not speaking about a Gnostic based upon some religious text and ideology. Gnosis is just knowing. So, I'm here to reason with you guys and bring some gnosis and clarity. There is a lot of division and confusion within the Rastafari community. And just like all other schools of thoughts, Rastafari has became a religion. And whenever you have religion, you have dogma and doctrine and indoctrination. See? So, and this is something that applies to every school of thought or every movement that was attached to the liberation of indigenous people originally. See? So, I guess people in that Piscean energy needed that type of religion or religious cloak in order to reach higher levels or higher degrees of awareness. Seen? So we left that Piscean energy into this so-called Aquarius energy. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. You know, for those who've been building long time, we've been in the age of Aquarius when y'all was in the age of Pisces. See? But anyway, I'm not trying to sound arrogant or nothing like that. Just reasoning with you guys, man. Now, the medical marijuana industry has totally destroyed something beautiful. I hate to tell you this, guys, but what people are smoking today called loud. Everyone's screaming, yo, I got this loud out. The real OGs know that ever since you started calling this substance loud, you done messed the game up, okay? Now you created a terminology where you can slide all these different types of categories of marijuana under one title, where they were originally separated. They were in groups, they had names, they had, information. You back in the day when you went to the ganja man, he would give you information on the bud. He'll break it down to you, whether it was an indica, sativa, or a mixture of the two and all of that good stuff. That was a real ganja man. He dropped the whole science of the whole herb that you smoke. now that you label all weed that's not considered Reggie loud now, you totally messed the game up. But that's cool. I'm not gonna blame it on the young boys. The old OGs should have corrected that, you know. But that's all right. I'm not in that world anymore. But you know, I'm going to reason on some subject matters that people can relate to. You know what I mean? Now, why? Because most people are used to rosters promoting the use of marijuana. I'm here to tell you that the ganja that most people are smoking, if you didn't grow it yourself, you're smoking mystery weed, man. It's like the lollipop of Dum Dums. Remember the bag of Dum Dum lollipops? Excuse me. And they had the one lollipop that had a question mark on it. You really didn't know what you was getting. You know, that's what you guys are smoking. You're smoking mystery weed. And here's the sad part about this. I'm gonna travel back in time for a second. When I was a youngin', when I was a young boy, way before I had all the awareness that I have now, I watched a old documentary called Hemp Revolution. And the moment I watched that DVD, I had a revelation. Like I knew then that I knew and had all the solutions to all of the problems on this planet. But as a youth, being young, no one truly takes you serious, you know. And especially if you're talking about marijuana, you know, you're going to just sound like a pothead, or you know what I mean? Or you're just going to sound like some old black hippie, you know what I mean? So, at an early age, after watching Hemp Revolution, I was convinced, and I knew then that you know what I mean? I understood the solution for all of the disease and ailments. Disease and unbalance of this paradigm in this planet. Sorry for getting tongue tied. I get a little porky pig sometimes, but it's cool. I come back. Abdi, but I can still come back with it. You dig me? That ain't all, folks. I still got a little bit more to reason on. See? So, a lot of this hybrid marijuana has a lot of metallics and a lot of different fungi spores and fungus in it, and it doesn't have the original properties that the creator gave the original plant in its original form. You know, they had to take it and they had to genetically manipulate it. Now, this might sound crazy to you individuals, and I really can't prove this, but I'm just going to give it to you anyway, whether you believe me or not. From an individual who has been utilizing this particular herb, or what they call marijuana, for some time, I know for a fact that even what we used to call hydro and con bud, those exotic buds from back in the day, is totally different from this new age weed that the youth, and yes, I ain't gonna lie, I not smoke it sometimes. I'm like, there ain't nowhere to find some what I'm looking for, so I guess, you know, I just grab whatever's around. I'm guilty of it. But that's why I had to speak on this subject matter. I have been reasoning a long time about how they try to counteract this cosmic consciousness, or this return of cosmic consciousness, whether you want to call it Christ, Buddha, Krishna, or whatever, which is truly still the energy of that great mother, cloaked in the form of a male deity. But whatever the case may be, they're trying to counteract this, I would call like the second wave of Rastafari. You know, the first wave happened in 1930, and that sent out a blast. You know, so now that the return has come again, seen, they had to counteract it. Because when Haile Selassie was coronated in 1930 and the Rastafari movement was rebirthed, that kind of caught the oppressors, or the people who have been the puppeteers who've been in control, or the unseen hand that we don't see, who've been running the show. They were kind of caught off guard by this Rastafari awareness and this Rastafari movement. And why I say that they were caught off guard by this movement is because it wasn't charted and calculated with inside of their COINTEL programs and inside of their central intelligence. You know, because we already know, this is old news, guys, that, you know, they infiltrated all of the movements. I don't care what movement it was. Any movement that was either what, I don't care if it was a movement for the liberation of white folks. They infiltrated that. The liberation of Native Americans, whatever. I don't care if it was Mexicans. You know, that's why they call it central intelligence. They want to know what's going on. See? And they make sure they know what's going on. So whether the movement wasn't actually funded itself by the actual people who they say they were fighting against, that movement was definitely infiltrated by people who, you know, they come in and they want to study and figure out what's going on. See? So that's why Bob Marley said, Rasta don't work for no CIA. Rat race. This is a rat race. So this blast of awareness at that time caught the slave drivers off guard. Seen? And I said this a million times, but I'm going to reason with you guys one more time on this one, and I'm never going to bring it up because I know you probably tired of me hammering this nail into the coffin. But I said the rebirth of the Rastafari movement was the rebirth of those Gnostic, or the Gnostic individuals who they assassinated in a time period where they were trying to kill off all of the Gnostics on the planet. And the women, who they call witches, who carried all of the science. See? So they had to kill all of the witches and Gnostics. And during that time period, they reversed everything, and everything that was attached to us gaining higher cosmic awareness, they reversed it and they made it evil, satanic, or they put a level of spookism on it to keep you away from it. See? So they always have to give you spookism to keep you away from you, or to keep you away from your ancestral connection or awareness. See? So remember, Rastafari is a movement, and like they always say, Rasta must move forward. So even a lot of the principles and the ideologies must move forward into this age of so-called Aquarius. As we have more clarity, we have more knowledge, more insight, more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on a whole lot more subject matters than we did at 1930. See? And the more we move on through the ages, we will continually add more onto that which we think we know as we evolve. I'm not talking about Darwin's evolution. You know what I mean? We actually fell. We didn't evolve. But that's a whole, I don't want to get off topic, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, good thanks. So I have to tell you that, you know, like the fruits and vegetables, they take the seed out of the fruits and vegetables. That is diabolic. That is something that a diabolical people does. They mess around with the genetics of the fruits and vegetables so that it doesn't bear seeds. Now we have a people who fiend for seedless fruit. See? And when you eat seedless fruit, you produce a seedless people. You already know. This is all design. You already know. But check this out. Now we have this, you know, everybody cry about this seedless ganja. Oh yeah, it has no seeds in it. But now they have altered the genetics of this holy plant to create something different. And whenever you hear the word industry, it becomes evil. I'm telling you this now. And I reasoned with you guys before, whenever you take something from a mom and pop level and turn it into an industrial level, it takes away all the love from the original product. I don't care if you're selling cheesesteaks, grilled cheese sandwiches, whatever the case may be. Whenever something becomes mass produced on a large scale, it does not have the love that the foundation had. You know, I guess the original McDonald's, when it was just that first original McDonald's, that food had a lot of love in it. But when McDonald's became industrial and it became just about making a dollar, there was no more love in the food. And that's with any business. So that's what happened with the ganja. They'll do anything and mess with the genetics of it to make as much as they can. It doesn't grow as long enough as it should. You know, they have totally tampered with the holy plant, and that is the last abomination. Once you do that, you know, everything has a cause and effect to it. And I keep telling or reasoning with people that when you keep messing and tampering with genetics and these things, it starts to backfire. So they keep trying to counteract this cosmic awareness. They try to counteract this Rastafari movement. And as I said a million times, that's why the world looks Rasta now. Everyone has locks because man is Rasta. You heard me say that plenty times before. There's a reason. The reason is they're trying to counteract that which we should have been. So they have to use gender confusion and a whole bunch of other different distractions to block and counteract that return or that awareness or the return of the Nazi locks. See? Even though the locks have returned, the consciousness didn't. So all you have is the locks, the look. A lot of these brothers look Rasta, and it's so crazy and it's amazing. But now we come back with a counteractor we counteract what they counteract. That we boxing. See? Anyway, I know this will probably not be digested until the future, and it's cool. I'm here to plant the seed now. But that stone you see is the green agate and the tree agate, and I reasoned on tree agate before, and how you can utilize the tree agate for your plants. See? And when you place the tree agate with your plant, you now totally activate that plant. Now you can communicate with it and excuse me, do all types of things that I'm not going to get into now because we kind of really reasoned on that before. But any plant, so you can also utilize the tree agate to infuse the cosmic love of the mother back into the herbs now that it doesn't have it anymore, this industrial weed that we smoking. Or you can just go back to the Reggie because it's more organic. And after smoking a lot of, loud with high potency or with large levels of THC, you probably like, oh, I don't want to smoke no regular marijuana now. Stop smoking for a while, period. Don't abuse it, use it. And when you stop smoking for a while, even if it's just a couple of days, you smoke anything, you're going to be feeling wavy. See? But anyway, you utilize the herbs for whatever you utilize it for. Everyone doesn't use it for spiritual purposes. But I'm here to tell you that the loud ain't what you think it is. And it's not good. And they manipulated with it. And it doesn't even have the medicinal properties that the original plant had. See? After tampering with it to create large levels of THC. We had other methods of getting big amounts of THC by abstracts and oils and things like that. We didn't have to mess with the genetics of the plant. And naturally, through cross-pollination, certain strains or different cousins will definitely cross-breed with each other naturally. Nature has its way to pollinate itself to create diversity. But this was the last abomination. They desecrated the sacred plant because they knew within the natural state and within its natural form, that was the healing of the nation. Now, out of their fear of this awakening, they had to try to counteract it. But, you know what I mean? The law of cause and effect is strict. Seen in nature will always be the boss. And nature is alive, whether you want to call her Mother Nature or Mother whatever. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa. Just joking with you guys. So good thanks. You can utilize this tree agate for any type of plant, for all of you green thumbers. So take your tree agate, activate it, and take your plants to a whole nother level. And for those who do partake in the ganja, start to grow your own. Stop smoking that mystery weed, y'all. You don't know what the hell that shit is. And it doesn't have any love in it no more, guys. I just smoked some stuff that you can smell 3 blocks away, and it had no love in it. So I'm like, how come it smells so potent, but the quantities of love inside of it is so low? There is a reason for this. And if you don't partake in the herbs, you probably have no clue what I'm talking about. But I try to reason on things that people can relate to on all levels. And I like to reason with the younger generation or what we call the young bulls, because I come to find that the young bulls make more sense than the old heads. I hate to say that, but the ghetto youth is waking up. And I come to tell you that brimstone and fire will come burn up all of these sodomite them, you know. They had to face the karmic wrath of all of the genocide and bloodshed that they spread upon this planet. I'm not here to correct it. Nature will correct everything when the reset happens. And when the reset happens, there will be brimstone and fire as it was in the past. Know your history, know yourself, know your destiny. You already know. I'm not here to bring fear to you. This is not a fear tactic scene, but Mother Nature clears everything and cleanses herself, just like a woman cleanses her womb through her menstrual cycle. Through natural cycles, the mother cleanses nature with brimstone and fire. And that is one thing that the Rastafari movement has been explaining. And that's why I challenge everyone to watch Flat Earth Geology Revised, because this man totally breaks down the whole metaphysics of brimstone and fire. But if a Rastaman broke it down, they would probably stone him. Yo, please check that out, y'all. Flat Earth Advanced Geology Revised. Brimstone and fire, you already know. You were now in tune on the Wonder Force itself. Give thanks to Her Imperial Majesty, Holy Omega I. Ja Rastafari.